So guys, in this part we are going to write a code for our player controller script. So let's open our player controller script. After it open, in the top I want to write public transform. We want to get access of a camera controller. So camera container. And what is this transform? That means we want to go to our object, the camera container, and get access to this transform here. See it? We want to get access to this transform from our code. That's why we use the camera container and transform here. And also there is a true. So for example here, as you see, we have a public. When there is public, I'm going to save it and show you that when I'm going to our player, as you see here, we have a common container here. So when we have a public something, we can see it in inspector. But when it's private, we cannot see it in inspector. As you see, we cannot see it anymore in this inspector. But when we want to see it, we need to use the debug to see it. See that we can see it, but it's not highlighted. So when we use debug, we can see the private variable as well. Okay, but for now, we are going to use normal. So now let's go back. So now we make another true variable. So first I'm going to change this one to public. So then under that, public float mean x look. So that is our minimum x look. And also we need a maximum x look. So we can write it again like that, copy it, paste it, and I'm going to change this one to max. Still, we can see the both of them in our inspector. I'm going to save it. Then as you see here, we have the min x look and max x look. Okay, but because they are the same float, I can write, instead of writing down it, I'm going to write it comma and just max x look. So then I don't need this part. Now it's the same. You see, when I'm going to save it, still we will have the min and max x look in our inspector. Okay. So then we make it more place and make our script more beautiful. So now next one will be private float cam current x rotation. So we want to get access to the rotation of our camera. So the next public float look sensitivity. So now the last one for now is public vector 2 and mouse delta. So as you see, we have a two line here, these two strich. That means that this after these two line here we have is comment, the information. This text is for the information. It doesn't do anything in our game. It's just for information about our variable or code or our functions. Okay. Loop sensitivity, as you see, this is how fast we are able to look around, and camera current X rotation to get access to the camera rotation, also the minimum, maximum look, so how far we can look around, look up and down. We don't want that our player look completely, so spin completely around himself. That's why we need to limit it. Now in the top, and we want to use another library using Unity Engine dot input system. Now we use this library here, we can make a new function. So here I'm going to write the function public void on look input. Inside of the parentheses, we want to write input action dot callback context. As you see, there is information about that, information provided to action callback about what triggered an action. So then after that, we need a space and we want context. So now what is this context actually? What is the job of this context? So the context is contain all information we need to know, such as we press the button or not, or the value. So but at this point we want the vector value. Now here we are going to say what the mouse delta is equal to context dot read value, and inside vector2 and parentheses. So now after that, let's go down. For now, I don't need to start an update function. I'm going to delete them. Later we can add them, but here I'm going to make another function, private void camera look. Then on top of that, also I'm going to make another function. I'm going to use the late update. So now inside of the late update, I'm going to call that function camera look. And the reason is that we want to rotate the camera after player has moved. So we don't want that at the same time it's happened. We want the camera move after the player. So now inside of the camera look function, we want to say camera current X rotation is equal to plus equal mouse delta dot y multiplied by our look sensitivity. Okay. Then also we want another camera current X rotation. We want to limit our rotation. So for the up and down, so we use the mathf dot clamp, and inside we want to clamp the cam current rotation between the minimum X look and maximum X look. So clamp, as you see here, we need a float value. The value is our cam current X rotation, and then we want the minimum value with minimum X look. Then we want the maximum float value, which it is our max X look. So that is, we are going to clamp the given value between the given minimum float and maximum float value. So we are going to limit our up and down, looking at the up and down. So now in the next, we need to get access to our camera container dot local Euler angle is equal to new vector tv inside of the parentheses cam current excitation. Then we want 0 at y and 0 at z position. So now, as you see, I add some information about our camera look. So after that, let's save it. Then let's go back to the game. So here we have a camera container. I want to drag our camera container from here to there. Then we have the minimum X look. I'm going to say it minus 90 and max X look at I'm going to say 90, or maybe I'm going to put it at 80 and 80. It's better. And look sensitivity, I'm going to put it at 0.15. So now the next step, we are going to our player. We need to go to our player inputs. Then here we need to go to our event. Then the main, somewhere we add the for looking. Do we have the mouse looking? No, exactly this. I'm going to click on this plus symbol here. Then he asks us for the object. We need to put our player object because we have that script inside of that. Because if we want to just, let me show you, if I want to try to use the script, as you see, it doesn't show anything to me. That's why we need to use the player, the object that has the script. And then here we are going to our player controller script, and we are going to find the onLook input. So now it's going to play, and as you see, we can look up or down. But as you see, the mouse is inverted, and I don't like the inverted, so it's depend on you. If you want inverted, you can use that, but because I don't like inverted, I'm going to change our something in our code so that we will not get the inverted function. So now if I put a minus behind of our camera current excitation and save it, and now it should be normal. When I bring my mouse up, we should look up, and when I bring my mouse down, we should look down. Because when I bring my mouse up, we are going to look up, going to down, we are going to look down. So nice, and that's work. So now for the looking at the left and right side, we need to go back to our script. Then here down of that, I'm going to write something new. Here I'm going to write transform dot Euler angle is plus equal to new vector 2v at 0 that x position, but at y we want mouse delta x multiplied by our look sensitivity, and we don't want any changes at z position, so I can put it at 0 as well. Now we should be able to look at the left and right side. So let's go and save it. Then I'm going to play. And as you see, we are moving to the left and the right side. As you see, the box collider is moving. But because we have the same, we just have a plate, so let's do something else. So I'm going to add 3D object cube there. So let's see if we can see that. There. As you see, when we are now, it's a little bit up. I'm going to bring it down. As you see, I'm going to rotate to the left and right side. And that's 4. When I look at the player, you see the mouse delta, the value is going to change when you are going to the left or the right. So see, when I'm going to the left, we are always getting the negative value, and then we are going to the right, positive value. And when I'm just going to up, he's going to get the plus or minus value. So now I'm going to stop it. Let's go back. And now I can make this one private because we don't want any changes in inspector. That's why we are going to make it in private. So now, because I want to lock our cursor, here I'm going to make a start function. Just write a start on enter. Then we have the start function. If we want the cursor dot lock state, we want the cursor lock mode dot locked. That's help us to lock our cursor and also make it invisible. I'm going to save it again. Now if I'm going to play it, as you see, when I click on the game, we cannot see any more our mouse. Now we can easily just looking up, down, left, and right. So, but the problem that we cannot go out. So for going out, we need to push the button escape. Then we can see our mouse again. So when I click on the game again, we cannot see it. When I push the button escape, the top left side of your laptop or keyboard, then you can see it again and you can stop the play mode. Now that our looking is work fine without any problems, the next part we are going to work on the moving of a player. So see you in the next video.